Hello viewers, we're coming to you live from our main studio in Bakau, The Gambia. This is N24 News and I'm your presenter, Mudiwa Ngum. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the next minutes, Secretary General of Disabled Federation to run for Parliament. High Court nullifies Kanifing Municipal Council's Commission of Inquiry. In sports, Senegal win AFCON 2021 after post-match shootouts with Egypt. On the international front, Kenya minister warns teachers over student beating. These and more to feature in our today's bulletin. Stay tuned. And we start tonight's bulletin with President Adama Barrow officially opening the legal year in the Gambia on Sunday with an occasion at the Law Court Complex in Banjul. This signifies the opening of the legal year of 2022. Our reporter tells us more in this report.
The event was graced by Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow, Speaker Mariam Jack Denton of the National Assembly, Cabinet Ministers, security chiefs and diplomats, judges and legal practitioners. President Adama Barrow expressed delight and elation in presiding over the event. Mr. Barrow said at the opening event since the year 2019, the world has been battling a pandemic that continues to affect the socio-economic fabric of the society, including judicial systems. However, this has not stopped the judiciary from dispensing justice as required by law. Barrow says that the rule of law is the bedrock of society, which his government continues to support the country's judiciary to sustain a healthy and stable democracy. The president said it is on such occasions that heroes of the Gambia judicial system, who continue to work courageously to ensure justice and law, should be celebrated. The official opening of the legal year in its current format was, according to Salutal, Gambia Bar Association President, came into being in the aftermath of the 1981 attempted coup by Kukwai Samba Sanyang to depose former President Jawara. Mr. Tal urged stakeholders to use this official opening ceremony be taken to review the difficulties, challenges, and achievements of the judicial sector and identify ways forward to achieve the objective of rule of law and enhancing access to justice in an effective and efficient manner. He congratulated President Adama Barrow on his second mandate and congratulated all the other contestants as well. Other speakers included the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Hassan B. Jallow, who commended the judiciary for the fast-track and timely intervention to ensure the realization of the judicial strategic plan.
The School for Enrolled Nurses and Midwives (SEN) in Bansang informed its students and staff that all activities including learning have been ceased effective 4th February 2022 till further notice due to feeding difficulties. A memo revealed by the school principal, Sharifo Jaula, stated that the unexpected closure is as a result of the failure of good interest by the Ministry of Health for the past 3 quarters. The memo further indicated that all students are free to travel to their respective homes, while adding that the date of resumption will be communicated through their respective class tutors and presidents. Justice Basiru VP Mahani on Friday quashed the Commission of Inquiry set up by the Minister of Regional Government to investigate alleged corruption and malpractice at the Kanifing Municipal Council. Mahoney said the minister acted beyond his powers to give the commission powers of a High Court judge. Here is more of that story.
Justice Basiru VP Mahoney on Friday quashed the Commission of Inquiry set up by the Minister of Regional Government to investigate alleged corruption and malpractice at the KMC. The judge held that the minister acted in excess of the powers conferred on law in establishing the commission. The court found that the minister cannot jump to set up a commission without following the prescribed procedure established by law. Justice Mahoney said the minister failed to fulfill the precondition prescribed by the local government before instituting a commission of inquiry. Justice Mahoney said the minister acted beyond his powers to give the commission powers of a High Court judge. Justice Mahoney dismissed the Attorney General's argument that the court lacks the jurisdiction to grant an order of certiorari to quash the commission of inquiry. Justice Mahoney said the court has the jurisdiction to quash the decision of the minister where the circumstances exist. He added that the powers of the court in granting orders of certiorari goes beyond lower courts and tribunals to include required body tax with public duties. He stressed that the minister failed to fulfill the mandatory precondition before setting up a commission of inquiry. The judge stated that the commission of inquiry cannot be established based on allegations. He said that the minister would only be able to exercise his discretion in setting up a commission of inquiry based on the recommendations of the inspectors after inspection exercise. He added that the word used in act is made with permissive and not mandatory. He emphasized that the minister can institute a commission of inquiry but in accordance with the powers conferred on by law. Osenatu Sabali, N24 News.
Lamin Mane, the Secretary General of the Gambia Federation of the Disabled, has announced his intention to contest the Sanimentering constituency as an independent candidate in April's parliamentary elections. This comes after he said persons with disabilities need people to fight for them. Maimuna Dari tells us more.
Mane from Sukuta said he will want to fight for the rights of Gambians, especially disabled persons. According to Standard, Mane told them he was looking into the issues since 2017. Mane, however, said things are not going in the right direction as far as persons with disabilities in this country are concerned. He said he's not a politician but have seen things getting worse. Therefore, persons with disabilities have to be represented in parliament. Mane, however, said persons with disabilities need people who will fight tooth and nail for the betterment of the handicapped in the country. Mane, 45, said the handicapped are Gambians who pay taxes and should have their fair share of the national cake. Mane said it is a sad commentary on the country that people with disabilities are suffering and begging in the streets because they have not been given meaningful opportunities. Mane challenged members of his federation to participate proactively in politics as that it is the only way they can fight for their rights and improve their condition. People with disabilities in the Gambia argue they have little or no support from the government as they continue to beg in the street to make a living in order to put food on the table. Maimuna Dari, N24 News.
In sports, first in the world of cricket, Paul Collingwood named England's interim head coach for West Indies Test Series. Paul Collingwood played 68 tests, 197 ODIs and 36 T20s for England, leading them to the 2010 World T20 title. Paul Collingwood has been appointed as England's interim men's head coach for the 3-match Test series against West Indies in March. Chris Silverwood has left his role as head coach last week following England's 4-0 Ashes defeat by Australia. Former all-rounder Collingwood took charge of England's 3-2 T20 series defeat in the Caribbean last month. The Test squad is set to be announced on Tuesday. England will arrive in Antigua on 25th February and will play a 4-day warm-up match starting on 1st March followed by 3 tests. The first test at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Ground in Antigua starts on 8th March. Away from cricket, let's now look at the AFCON winners. Sadio Mane netted the winning spot kick as Senegal beat Egypt 4-2 on penalties to clinch their first ever Africa Cup of Nations after the final ended goalless following extra time. The match, which saw 2 Liverpool forwards face each other, could not have a winner at 90 minutes nor extra time with entertaining football. Pa Firmus Korea tells us more in the story.
The Liverpool forward had earlier seen a 70-minute penalty saved by the Pharaohs keeper, Gabaski. Chelsea's Edouard Mendy denied Mohamed Lassin to give Mane the chance to win it in Yaounde's Olympic Stadium. Gabaski had made 3 good saves from Senegal's Bamba in extra time. And in a match boiled as a battle between Liverpool forwards Mane of Senegal and Egypt captain Mohamed Salah, it was the former who had the decisive word. 2 previous final defeats, Senegal are Africa Cup of Nations winners at last, while Egypt missed out on a record extending 8 continental crowns that would also have been a force for Salah. All 4 of Egypt's knockout games at the tournament were the distance, and the North Africans had beaten Ivory Coast and host Cameroon on spot kicks en route to the final. Gabaski had already saved 4 penalties at the tournament by the time the match went to a shootout. On this occasion, the 33-year-old ended on the losing side. Egypt were the first to err when centre-back Muhammad saw his penalty hit the left hand upright and bounce away, but Gabaski immediately denied Bono Sarr. However, Lassin saw his effort save and Mane won it with an emphatic finish into the bottom left-hand corner. His Liverpool teammate Salah did not even have the chance to take a penalty, with the Pharaohs captain set to go 5th for his side. Senegal's 2 Nations Cup final defeats came in 2002 and 2019, and while the Teranga Lions will celebrate finally winning the tournament, Egypt will soon have a chance for revenge, with the 2 sides meeting again next month in a 2-legged playoff for a spot at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Fans all over the country were visible at the arrival of the Senegalese team in Dakar. Pa Firmus Korea, N24 News.
And away from the AFCON and the latest happenings of sports, let's now take a look at the latest of the internationals. A day after the police chief in Canada's capital said his city was under siege by thousands of truckers and other protesters angry over government policies, the mayor on Sunday declared a state of emergency and called for outside help. The protests were initially set off by vaccine mandates for truckers crossing the border from the United States, but have since expanded to draw thousands of other protesters from Canada's political right unhappy over a mixed bag of issues, including the leadership of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The protests are also fanning tensions between the right to freedom of speech and protest in Canada and the imperative by law enforcement to maintain public order. Kenya's education minister has reminded people that corporal punishment remains banned in the country's schools. Meanwhile, at least 3 deaths have been confirmed after an oil production vessel exploded in Nigeria's Niger Delta region last Wednesday, the company announced on Monday.
Kenya's education minister has reminded people that corporal punishment remains banned in the country's schools. On a visit to the country's coastal region, Judge Magoha said teachers caught beating students will be dealt with according to the law. His comments come days after a student in the area was beaten for eating 5 chapatis. The beating left the male student with injuries to his kidney and genitals, and he was admitted to hospital. The school's head teacher and an audit teacher were arrested. Education officials in the region closed the school after an inspection showed it was not registered and had hygiene issues. Minister Magoha said Schools that have compliance issue will be closed and students admitted to neighboring schools. Meanwhile, at least 3 deaths have been confirmed at an oil production vessel exploded in Nigeria's Niger Delta region last Wednesday, the company announced on Monday. 2 bodies were found on the deck on Sunday, and another corpse had been discovered earlier in the day. Owners of the vessel, Nigeria's Sheba Exploration and Production Company Ltd, said their priority remains focused towards establishing the whereabouts, safety and security of the 4 crew members still missing. 3 crew members had been rescued from the wreckage of the vessel on Sunday morning, raising hopes that others were still alive. The vessel, Trinity Spirit, was said to be holding at least 50,000 barrels of crude oil when it exploded early Wednesday and had completely burnt out by Thursday. Authorities are investigating the cause of the explosion, and it is not clear whether it has led to an oil spill.
And viewers, that's all the time we have in today's bulletin. Stay tuned to your favorite N24 RTV.